Kejap, dia semua ada nama-nama tau. Aku setakat nak busybody je.
Kita buat scissors paper stone.
Tak ada scissors paper stone. Ada.
Cuba Wan.
Tak ada.
Macam mana nak share link YouTube ni? Siapa ada Boleh kasih?
Sekejap, hard forward.
I think nanti ada link baru I think. So nanti we will share the link lah.
Tak, I mean, nak tengok dekat YouTube tu.
Us on our social medias and joining us for today's live. So feel free to drop us some questions throughout the show, and let's welcome our international athletes. Everyone, please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself. So maybe we can start with Hazwan first.
Hi guys, I'm Hazwan. Hazwan Ghazali from Australia. So I was born in Singapore. Basically we migrated to Australia for about nearly 20 years now. So I've been in Silat probably about nearly to 15, 20 years basically. When I was just little. Now I'm 31, pretty old. I think the reason why I love the Silat is just basically the culture wise, the competing side of it, and just basically we got something to achieve, and then to work towards in a way. My memorable would be in Silat is probably would be like the freestyle of Silat. So basically like the one Silat championship kind of thing. So that's basically like more bebas in a way. So yeah, that's basically about me.
So what is your significant achievement?
Significant achievements probably competing in World Championship, I would say. That's probably the significant achievement, representing your country, getting to fight against the best in the world, like some of you guys here, and then meeting you guys. So yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's pass on to the next one. Maybe we have Jem from Philippines.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Jam Rouse from the Philippines, and I've been in Silat for 3 years only. So I'm new here. And I think the most memorable experience for me in Silat was my first competition, international competition, which was the Singapore Open in 2019, where we bagged bronze. Yeah. It was an achievement for me also because it was my first time, and it was kind of exciting. And I've met like a couple of like international Silat players also, and then I only participated for like 3 international competitions yet, and so far I find it very inspiring to see the other international Silat players who really perform well in Silat. That would be it.
Okay, so what is your highest or the highest level of competition that you have competed at on top of like Singapore Open?
I participated in World Beach Games in 2019 and also Pre-Sea Games 2019, where I play Regu, and we bagged silver in the World Beach Games and gold during the Pre-Sea Games.
Congratulations. All right, okay. So moving on, let's have a conversation with Al-Jufferi from Malaysia.
Ya, saya Muhammad Al-Jufferi Jamari. Dah dalam bidang silat ni dah hampir 15 tahun. So mungkin saya dah memenangi kejuaraan dunia sebanyak 3 kali. secara berturut-turut dan juga memenangi Sukan C yang sudah 4 kali. So kali ni di Vietnam kemungkinan besar insyaAllah akan cuba untuk mendapatkan pingat emas buat kali kelima. Jadi pengalaman saya dalam dunia silat ni agak luas tapi masih belum lagi menyempurnakan teknik-teknik silat yang begitu banyak. Jadi itulah cita-cita saya untuk memberikan kepada seluruh dunia agar melihat silat ini bahawasanya bukanlah satu perkara yang mudah untuk kita tangani seperti masyarakat yang lain. Itu saja daripada saya.
Okay, so for those who don't really understand bahasa, so let me recap what Jufferi just shared. Yeah. So Jufferi is a Malaysia national athlete. He's been in Silat for 15 years and he's a 3 times world champion, correct?
Yeah.
And 4 times SEA Games champion, and he's aiming for his 5th this 31st SEA Games. Yeah. So what he shared is that he's still learning Silat despite being in Silat for 15 years. And so I think what he like to share is that, though being in Silat for 15 years, there are still things and techniques that everybody or he himself would still like to learn. So Silat is not as easy as it seems. So it's as difficult as other sports or other martial arts. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, let's have a short conversation with Wewey from Indonesia.
Halo, nama saya Wewey Wita. Saya asal dari Indonesia. Saya di Silat sudah sekitar 20 tahun. And then prestasi saya 2 kali gold medali di kejuaraan dunia. Terus 3 kali SEA Games, 1 kali emas dan 2 kali perak, dan gold medal di Asian Games. Bagi saya silat itu adalah kehidupan saya, karena saya mulainya dari kecil sampai sekarang di silat. So banyak pengalaman yang saya dapat dari silat.
Okay. Itu aja.
Itu aja.
Alright, okay. So let me recap what Wewey just shared in bahasa. Okay, so Wewey have been in Silat for 20 years. She's a 2 times world champion, 3 times participant in SEA Games, which she won 1 gold and 2 silver. And she's the Asian Games gold medalist. So for Wewey, Silat is her life. So she started from young, and I think until now, even though she's married and she has 1 kid, she's still in Silat and still practicing Silat. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the last participant, or even. So let's welcome Had.
Hello. I'm Hadija. I'm from Singapore. I'm the youngest among everyone here. I'm 21 years old and I started Silat at the late 12. Yeah, I started joining the national team at the age of 14 years old. And my highest achievement would be Asian Games bronze medal and the World Champs. I recently competed in the SEA Championship and I backed home a gold medal. And in the recent 2019 Asian Championship, gold medal too. I'm looking forward to getting my first gold medal in this year's SEA Games, inshallah, and hopefully in the future championships also. My Silat is also my life. Basically, it's my lifestyle where I create a home here and find a second home in here. It's my career and I am planning to go long term in this Silat life. Yeah, inshallah, when until I turn 32 or until my body cannot take it anymore. Yeah, and also I think I'm very lucky to be able to grow up and having to learn the new rulings, and I'm actually looking forward to actually compete in competitions with this new ruling, and hopefully, inshallah, towards Olympics. Yeah.
Amin ya rabbal alamin, insyaAllah.
Okay, so let's move on to our first topic. So for this topic, we would like to talk about your experience as an international athlete. Okay, so it's content pertama will be tentang experience kamu sebagai athlete international. Okay, so the first question that I would like to ask everybody, at what point in life did you realize that doing Silat isn't just a hobby? So like, how did you come to realize that training daily is something that you can fulfill and continue to improve yourself as an athlete? Or even going through a tough day, does training even help you to release those stress and pressure, or does it actually demotivate you to go for training? Okay, so questionnya is actually at what point di hidup kamu rasa macam silat tu bukan just hobby, it's a kehidupan ataupun pekerjaan, and bagaimana kamu realize that latihan hari-hari tu it's something yang kamu boleh capai and terus improve yourself as an athlete, and also going through a tough day at training, training actually helps you to release those stress ataupun makin buat kamu lagi stress. Yeah, so I think the floor is open. Anybody can just give your inputs.
Alright, boleh saya jawab dulu soalan ni? Macam berminat pula dengan soalan. Alright. Okay, dia sebenarnya kalau untuk saya di Malaysia, kita belajar silat ni bukan hanya untuk menjadi seorang atlet yang berjaya, tetapi silat ni kalau kita melihat dari zaman dahulu lagi, memang kita dah ada silat ni, dan di zaman dulu silat ni belajar bukan untuk pergi pertandingan. Macam zaman-zaman yang dulu tak ada pertandingan, tapi dia more kepada peperangan dan more kepada membela diri daripada diragut, dirompak dan dirogot dan sebagainya. So jadi di Malaysia saya aktif NGO dari segi aktivis, di mana semboyan Malaysia, yang di mana kita akan memerangi dari segi ahlong, rompakan dan sebagainya. So kalau kita tak melatih diri kita melalui silat ataupun lain-lain masyarakat, sebenarnya bagi saya masyarakat ni memerlukan latihan harian untuk kita membela diri kita. Cuma kita ambil contoh kita jadi atlet. So apabila kita jadi atlet, kita pergi pertandingan. So kalau kita ni atlet ni, bagi saya kalau 4 hari tak training pun dia punya fitness, dia punya teknik dan taktikal pun dah jadi orang kata longgar dan boleh menghilangkan kita punya fitness. So bagi saya silat ni perlu terapkan dalam harian kita. Bagi saya silat ni bukan hanya kerja saya, tapi malah tanggungjawab saya, kerana kita ada keluarga. So kita memerlukan seni bela diri ni untuk membela nasib-nasib orang Terengganu dan juga keluarga kita. Contoh dia macam ni. Kalau orang datang menghulurkan pisau dan pistol, adakah waktu tu kita boleh report polis? Mesti tak sempat nak report polis, mungkin kita dah kena bunuh kat situ. Sekurang-kurangnya kita boleh defend diri kita menggunakan seni bela diri yang kita dah pelajari. Mungkin kalau 4-5 orang nak ragut kita dah dapat pukul 2-3 orang, kita larilah. Kan? Nama pun bela diri. Jadi tengok situasi, dan silat ni bukan hanya untuk jadi bila belajar silat dan kita jadi atlet dan baru pergi pertandingan, selepas tu barulah kita jadikan ianya hobi. So kalau kita bukan jadi atlet pun kita kena jadikan hobi, kerana di dunia kita ni tak semua orang baik. Ada yang orang jahat dan ada orang yang nakal, cuba untuk meragut dan rompak mengganggu kebahagiaan rumah tangga kita dan sebagainya. Itu jawab.
It's very good, and I think I do agree with you. Like silat is not just a sport, but it's something that kita pun boleh use it in our daily life. I agree. I mean, saya tak pernah diragut ataupun like there's no rompakan anything. But I guess kalau let's say it does happen, I think we would definitely, I think all of us would know how to defend ourselves or protect ourselves.
So kalau rasa nak diragut, tolonglah datang di Malaysia banyak. Join Al-Jufferi jadi aktivis. Banyak di Malaysia. Tanya Azwan pernah pergi Malaysia. Santai kan, dia tak formal kan, dia santai kan. Saya tak boleh lah makan formal, dia tengok orang hijau macam tu je tegaknya kan. Macam nak presentation lah pula. So Fiana, you boleh datang Malaysia and then kita taklah just join, tengok saya lakukan kerja-kerja aktivis ni, macam itulah.
Maybe one day I will be,
InsyaAllah.
Yeah, I should try and join the activity. Yeah. All right. So anybody else would like to add on to, or share your experience? Yeah.
I think for me, my experience is I fell in love with my first kick. That's how Silat slowly turned into a hobby. Then after that, when I first started volunteering for SEA Games 2015, I witnessed Abang Jufferi, Kak Wewey fighting, and I was actually starstruck, and I was inspired to be like them one day. And I also I take this Silat is because it represents my community, it represents my culture, and I want to prove to people that you are able to, with what you want, you're able to turn it into your career, your life. Yeah, basically, ada orang kata macam, you cannot turn Silat you cannot depend Silat on living. You cannot, basically you cannot get money from Silat. You cannot get anything from Silat besides just the gold medals and all. So I think my purpose in this is to prove people wrong that yes, you can, if you have determination, if you're willing, and if basically kalau niat nak maju, insyaAllah memang boleh. Tapi I think besides all that, I also want to bring up the community name. I want to bring up the sport name. And I think my main target for this sport is to, of course, be in the Olympics one day. That's my biggest goal. And besides all that is, to insyaAllah develop myself as a better pesilat, insyaAllah, one day with all the guidance that I get. And then hopefully, able to bring up the younger generations to go up. And also from my first experience, that's volunteering. I think that volunteering is very important. Macam Abang Jufferi, dia buat, benda aktivis semua. I think it's very important for everyone to, volunteer, to give back to the community. It's not only about, gaining the gold medal and all. I think it's to think about your community, and that's all for me.
I mean, it's true. Like, I've heard people saying that, you cannot really make a career out of Silat. But then I think we have proved them wrong. So we do have some athletes who are actually paid athletes or used to be a paid athlete, competing and training full time. So I guess we are actually one step forward. And like what Had said, maybe, we can push Silat further, and, we can be as exposed and as good as, as like, Wushu, where other martial arts where it's like telecast all around the world. But I guess Silat, we are moving towards that. So we do have English or Hollywood movies where Silat is part of it. Culture
Inshallah.
chat and all that. So yeah. All right. So let's move on. Anybody else want to share about your experience? I think for this, everybody should share your experience like me.
I think for me, because we in the western side part of basically Southeast Asia, we don't have macam apa tu namanya like silat is basically like a career wise. It's basically mainly to hobby and then to understand what is silat culture is, So because for us here is we do it because we love the sport, or we do it because we trying to get away from, like Jufferi said, get away from all the negative side of the community, trying to get into a trouble. So Silat will help us to actually develop our self-esteem and our self-defense, so we'll towards any other problems. But because I know it's a great thing that you guys like Southeast Asia, basically bring Silat is basically mostly thinking about the Southeast Asia point, but not to westernize. But once slowly, like you can tell, like different countries such as UK, America, even Australia is slowly building up that Silat competitive side of it, which is good. Like we're still learning, even though we macam kalau jumpa Jufferi ke atau apa dekat bila pertandingan confirm begini kena rembat but still we're learning from our mistakes in a way. So so like we're still learning that's the reason why we love from a western side, like western hemisphere, like western part of it, is we love Silat is because of the culture wise. Like we as an athlete, like we try and do our best as a community to promote Silat. Like even in Australia, Silat is not big. Silat is probably like people are, if you ask people outside what is Silat, people doesn't know what Silat is. People know just about MMA, Taekwondo, whatsoever. But we try still, even 10 years down the road, we still trying to promote Silat. But it's gonna go, if Silat goes towards Olympic one day, inshallah, definitely Silat's gonna, it's gonna be everywhere and people's gonna talk about it. But now people's already talking about it, because of the movies, like she said, Fiona, the movies, why the kids shows, they try to understand what is Silat's about. But I guess, slowly we get there. Once we go to Olympic one day, you never know, we're gonna be on top. Even though that time I'll be retired, I think I'm retired, semi-retired now as an athlete. But, at least we see the next generation like Kat is herself, maybe Jufferi, maybe 5-10 years still competing, who knows, in Olympic. So we don't know, see what the future is. See,
Tuan tua dah.
Dah tahu pun.
Anak dah 8 juga macam tu dah. Masya-Allah. Aduh, astagfirullahalazim.
Alright, okay. So Wewey?
Ya, kalau bagi aku pribadi, silat itu memang bukan sekadar hobi. Seperti yang aku bilang tadi, silat itu adalah kehidupan aku, kehidupan saya. Karena di silat sendiri, selain saya bisa sehat, berolahraga gitu, saya juga mempunyai banyak keluarga. I have family in other country. Dimanapun saya punya keluarga gitu. Silat itu bagi saya berbeda dari bela diri lainnya, karena saya suka olahraga lain seperti melihat pertandingan MMA apa kayak gitu. Tapi menurut saya lebih mencintai silat karena itu tadi, silat itu kekeluargaannya sangat luar biasa. Selain itu bagi saya, kenapa silat itu adalah kehidupan saya, karena saya mulai dari kecil hingga sekarang saya mendapatkan pekerjaan dari silat. Saya menjadi dikenal orang banyak dari silat. Saya mendapatkan pasangan dari silat juga. So silat itu benar-benar kehidupan bagi saya. Jadi ya bukan hanya sekadar hobi. Itu sih kalau saya.
Okay, I guess it's nice to know that, because I think for you, Wewey, I'm not sure whether everybody has seen your growth. You know, the first time I saw you was, I think, in 2014 2014 World Championship.
Yeah.
I think that was my first time. So I guess I followed you on your social media, and I think I agree with you. Like, you always post, or your contents are always about Silat. So whatever you do, there's always about Silat. Whether it's outside, you're always like doing, practicing Silat with your husband or even with your kids. So I think if for those of you who are watching this live, when Wewey say that Silat is her life, it's literally her life. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, as an athlete, I would like to know how important is mental performance or psychological preparation in this sport? Yeah, I would like to know, like how important is it for you guys? Okay, so questionnya is, berapa important is mental preparation untuk Silat? Yeah.
I think for me,
James, silakan James. Cik.
Okay, James, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I think for me, it's very important, the mental aspect when doing Silat, when practicing Silat, because I believe it's not just, Silat is not just about the physical strength, but also the mind. I think it's more of a holistic approach. So I really believe that once you are a Silat, you should really not just improve your physical strength, but also your mind. Not just your mind, but also your spirituality. So basically, it's really as a whole. And that's what I love about this. And I'm still learning about it, really, because I just started. And I think I'm starting to grow on it. I'm starting to love it. And I think that's all.
I have a question for you. Do you actually I'm not sure, like for Singapore, right? I think for HUD, we do receive we have mental coaches that is always like with the team for competition and during trainings. Yeah. So do you have like those kind
Actually, we still don't have that. We have it in the Philippine Sports Commission, but we don't have a mental coach. Is that it? That's with us always. So basically, the coach that we have are the coach that also helps us with our mental struggles. So we don't have really a professional mental coach. So it's a little bit of a struggle, really, especially when you go, especially this pandemic, because we were put into a bubble training for about 6 months, and it's kind of really, it's something new because you can't really go out, and it's a different perspective. So you really have to rise above the struggle, especially when it comes to mental health.
I understand. So I guess it's nice to know that, even though you don't really get there's no mental coach that is attached to you, but I think as a coach, you need to be a holistic coach. So I guess your coach is doing well because,
yes, I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
It's still a struggle for them also as a coach. It's not always the athletes that have struggles, right? Even the coaches. And I think I'm proud to say that I think they've done their best.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I guess at the end of the day, you only have one another to really support and to progress in these sports, basically.
Silat is not really big sports here in the Philippines. Just like in the Western countries, once you ask what is Pencak Silat, they don't know. You have to explain it to them. So I hope this would be an emerging sport here in the Philippines. This is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So anybody else would like to add on?
Jufferi, silakan.
Main
pas sikit. Okey, baiklah. Okey, mungkin agak panjang sikit saya cerita ni tentang mental sebab dia penting sebab mungkin ada yang tengah tengok di YouTube sekarang. Jadi makan masa dah setengah jam lah kalau saya cerita ni. Gurau
You
Fiona.
can minimize.
Gurau Fiona. Okay. Jadi sebenarnya kalau ini personal lah secara cara saya untuk menguatkan mental. Apabila di dalam latihan, saya tak pernah mengharapkan kepada kawan-kawan sendiri untuk bantu saya. Kerana kita tahu dari segi kategori yang kita pilih itu sebenarnya adalah individu. Tetapi dalam masa yang sama ianya penting juga kerana untuk melatih silat olahraga ni dia perlukan partner. Tapi apa yang melebihkan kita dengan partner kita tu ialah dari segi mental sebenarnya. So kalau dalam latihan, mental saya ni selalu bercakap bahawasanya kalaulah hari ni macam mana nak cakap susah lah. Kalau hari ni saya training 1000 kali tendangan, kalau hari ni kawan saya training 1000 kali tendangan, saya akan training 2000 kali tendangan. Saya selalu macam tu. Saya selalu lebihkan apa yang kawan-kawan lebih. Dan yang keduanya, suka adakan program yang di luar sukan silat. Maksudnya camp bina semangat, yang di mana camp bina semangat ni untuk menerapkan kita punya mentality tu memang down. Which mean macam kita masuk tentera lah kan. So saya suka pergi kepada arah tu untuk menguatkan mental saya, yang di mana saya suka dapatkan benda-benda yang macam tu. Contoh, saya ni takut hantu tau Fiona. Saya ni takut hantu, sangat-sangat takut.
Bukan hantu
tapi
takut
kalau,
dengan you
kalau ada 10 orang macam Hazwan ni nak lawan saya boleh hadap. Tapi kalau hantu, sorry, memang saya memang saya akan lari dulu. Wewey, saya hantu memang saya takut Wewey. Jadi okey, kita sebenarnya benda tu kita cuba fikir daripada luar kotak kan. Apa yang kita takut, kita pergi berani kan. So saya buat satu program tu yang di mana tempat tu memang penuh dengan misteri dan mistik lah. So and then ada satu program kita pergi. Dalam masa yang sama kita pergi program tu, and then kita menghadapi situasi tu dalam 1 minggu. Ini program ni terjadi pada saya tahun 2015. Pada waktu 2015 tu ialah SEA Games, yang di mana saya nakkan pingat emas buat kali ketiga, hat-trick. Jadi waktu saya latihan tu pressure saya sangat kuat tau, sebab kita memikirkan macam mana nak dapatkan pingat emas yang ketiga. Sebenarnya training kita dah complete, tapi apa yang perlu kita baiki ialah dalaman, kerohanian dan juga mental kita. Fizikal kita ni dah kuat sebenarnya, sangat-sangat kuat, cuma kita je tak tahu guna. So bila mental kita kuat, secara tak langsung ni kan, automatik kita punya otot, kita punya fizikal tu dah kuat. So and then kita pendekkan cerita, saya pergi ke program tu, and then pergilah berjumpa dengan hantu tu sebagainya. Memang saya terkencing lah waktu tu. Saya pernah cerita dekat Khat waktu ni, memang saya terkencing. Tapi apa yang saya dapat selepas pada tu, saya pergi 2 minggu selepas pada tu pergi SEA Games, saya just lawan dengan macam orang kata benda tu dipermudahkan segala-galanya. So which mean mental saya kuat. Apa pihak lawan yang menyokong, contoh saya lawan Singapura, penyokong Singapura tentu akan menyokong Singapura, tapi saya tetap anggap penyokong Singapura tu tengah menyokong saya sekarang. Dia boleh twist macam tu kita punya otak. Itu saja daripada saya, perkongsian saya. Simpan sikit-sikit, nanti yang Suan ada.
Maybe one day when I go to KL while joining your activity, right? Maybe you can tell me about the cerita hantu.
Tak payah cerita, kita pergi Fiona. Kita pergi.
Siapa nak lawan dengan Jufferi kan? Taruh hantu kat depan. Taruh hantu kat depan tu.
Tapi walaupun saya dah menghadapi situasi tu, tapi sampai sekarang masih lagi takut tu.
Kan senang je. Siapa nak lawan Jufferi, taruh hantu kat depan tu.
Okay, that's all Fiona. Cuba terangkan dekat James tu sebab saya tengok dia macam tengah apa Jufferi cakap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess to recap what Jufferi shared, right, James, is actually that, you have to face your fear.
Yeah.
In order to strengthen your mental or psychological preparation. So for him, he shared his experience is that he was preparing for the 2015 SEA Games in Singapore. So he said the preparation or training wise is completed, but it's all about his inner self. Yeah. So what he did was he tackled one of his fear, which is a ghost. So he went for this.
Senyum dah macam pelik hantu. Apa kaitan hantu? Ini cerita Fiona, apa kaitan hantu dengan dia tu? Wewey mungkin faham, tak ada masalah.
Yeah, so Jufferi is afraid of ghosts. So what he did was he went for this program and then where they have to face or he have to face his fear. So he said that he went through the process and after which he completed the whole process. Of course, during the process, it's quite scary for him. But at the end of the whole thing, right, he felt that he was so much stronger mentally because he was able to face his fear basically. So during the 2015 SEA Games, as you know that the hosting country usually will have the most supporters. So in Singapore, technically, all the supporters are actually supporting our local athletes. But then he is able to switch his mindset into to imagine that actually the supporters are actually supporting him, not the Singapore athletes. So that is how Jufferi actually trained himself. So I think most probably for every major games he does that lah. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Okay, anybody else would like to share? Kalau Wewey?
Ya, kalau bagi saya sendiri, mental itu sangat penting. Saya setuju banget sama Bang Jufferi, karena mental itu hanya kita sendiri yang bisa melatihnya hanya kita sendiri gitu. Karena orang lain mau berbicara seperti apa, mau berkata seperti apa, kalau misalnya dari kita sendirinya berpikirnya, misalnya saya tak mampu, saya takut, saya tak berani lawan si A seperti itu kan. Pasti walaupun pelatih, walaupun coach berbicara you can do it, kamu pasti bisa, tak akan terjadi di pertandingan. So memang mental itu sangat penting sekali. Kalau saya pribadi, saya selalu berpikir ketika nak bertanding itu, saya selalu berpikir hal-hal yang positif. Misalnya saya bisa, saya mampu, saya pokoknya selalu berkata hal-hal yang positif. Karena bagi saya hal positif walaupun hanya sekecil apapun, ketika saya ulang-ulang itu akan menimbulkan hal positif yang sangat besar. So kalau bagi saya sendiri ketika saya bertanding itu biasanya kan kalau orang itu kalau bertanding itu kan takut kalah kan. Nah, ketika kita berpikir takut kalah itu negatif. Jadi saya berpikir saya mampu walaupun hasilnya belum tentu yang terbaik, tapi saya berpikir saya mampu, saya bisa karena saya sudah berlatih. Jadi saya menanamkan di dalam diri sendiri hal-hal berpikir positif. So ketika kita berpikir negatif, kita hempaskan, kita hilangkan. Selalu berpikirlah positif. Insya Allah nanti kita enjoy bertanding.
Insyaallah, mashallah.
That's nice to hear. Something different from Wewey. So Wewey actually shared that it all starts from herself, mental wise. I mean, on top of having support from other external factors, but it also starts from within. So what she did was actually to positive self-talk. Am I right? Yeah. Positive self-talk. So instead of saying that she cannot do this or she is afraid to lose, she will change it to, oh, I can do this, I'm going to win. So, and she said that even though the positive thoughts are quite small, it doesn't really make a huge impact. But when she keeps on repeating it, of course the outcome will be greater lah. Yeah. So I guess thank you for sharing that. So I hope that the viewers on YouTube can actually take up some points to how they can actually prepare themselves psychologically for any competition. So I would like to know, what is that one moment in your Silat career as an athlete that has made you feel so grateful that you decided to pursue Silat? Something to think about, you can ponder about it.
For me, I think that would be the Asian Games 2018 at Padepokan. Okay, I think this story is like not related to the question, but I was actually the youngest there, 17 years old, and I wouldn't thought that everything was unexpected, and having to enter the ring and share the same warming up area as Kak Wewey sama Abang Jufferi, that actually give me the semangat, and having to witness them live, right in front of my eyes, having to see them how they prep for the games, how they basically gather their courage before entering the ring, actually inspires me a lot. And it actually I picked up a few pieces from that actually guide me to where I am right now. So and back to the question, I think that is one of the most memorable moments I have in Silat. Is because it's not about making it, but having the I would say rezeki, the opportunity to able to witness everything, and then having to clinch the bronze medal. That was the toughest fight I've ever had, besides having myself as my own opponent. But I think going up against a very tough opponent, she's a Thailand fighter and she's brutal, but having to go up against her and having her as my first fight I'm super grateful for it. I'm super grateful for the moment, especially after the game, because you are able to embrace everything that you've got, like the experience, the exposure, the knowledge. Most importantly, you're able to grow from there. You're able to grow as a better athlete, grow as a better pesilat. Yeah, and then I took that up as the biggest lesson in my life, and I am willing to have myself out there more, to gain more experience and to belajar lebih, macam seperti daripada Abang Jufferi, ambil nasihat-nasihat yang penting, yang bagus. Yeah. And I also I watched Kak Wewey, like how she enjoy all the moments she have, despite the heavy pressure that she's got on her shoulders. So having to see them on their positive side actually opened my eyes wide up and inspire me to go far in this sport. Yeah, and to be the best version of myself, of course.
I guess there's some things that you cannot learn outside, so it should be experienced from I think for Had, it's her experience with the Thailand competitor at Asian Games. So yeah, anybody else would like to add on or share your one moment that made you so grateful?
I think for me, it would be my first ever world champ, Kuantan Pahang 2007. That was my first ever world champ as only 16-year-old. And then competing, was it 16 or 15? Either one. Competing up against bigger guys, older. I think I remember that time was, I think, I think it was about 16 years old, yeah. So I think that was I got even though if I didn't win anything, with the medal wise, I think just being there, having that surrounding, I think I'm just grateful for that, you're competing up against top guys, in the world, and you just a kid come in as a 16-year-old, don't know what to do, trying to figure out what's going on. But just competing up against like the seniors at that moment of time, I think that will be the most grateful event that I had. I think that was it.
All right. Anybody else?
Cepat, Wewey dulu kah? Wewey lah. Si Wewey dulu.
Abang
Wewey
Jufferi
perempuan
saja dulu.
Ha?
Abang Jufferi.
Scissors, paper, stone.
Okey lah, saya dulu lah. Okey, baik. Mungkin berbeza pada yang orang lain. Biasa orang akan cakap momen ni untuk dia punya setiap certain pertandingan yang dia ceburi. Tapi momen saya tu macam mana untuk pertandingan tu bagi saya menang tu itu adalah satu anugerah bagi saya. Tapi yang momen yang paling saya rasa sangat bersyukur dan rasa gembira ketika di mana Allah permudahkan segala pergerakan ketika saya berlawan. Setiap kali saya masuk setiap perlawanan, contoh kalau kita pergi mana-mana kejuaraan, contoh kita ada 4 kali perlawanan. 4 perlawanan tu dipermudahkan segala pergerakan kita. Kerana kalau kita tahu, minta maaf ni usik isu pasal keagamaan pula. Kalau kita tahu esok bila kita dah tiada di dunia, and then jelah dia tangan, kaki, mulut semua hidup. Di waktu kita mati, di waktu kita soal esok, tangan kita pernah buat dosa dengan orang ke apa. Begitu juga saya relate dalam pertandingan. Silat dan solat tak jauh. Jadi apabila momen yang di mana saya rasa bila nak pergi bertanding tu, saya rasa macam saya akan lakukan. Hati saya sendiri akan cakap itu. Sebab saya tak pernah rasa nak cuba. Di mana-mana tempat pun ataupun pertandingan, sekecil-kecil pertandingan, sebesar-besar pertandingan, saya tak pernah cakap saya akan cuba yang terbaik. Bila cuba awak nak merasa sesuatu perkara tu supaya ianya akan jadi pengalaman untuk awak. Bagi saya itulah kali pertama dan kali terakhir yang saya akan masuk pertandingan. Jadi saya tak pernah akan cuba. So saya akan lakukan dan saya wajib lakukan. Menang, soal menang ataupun tak, itu nombor 2. Yang penting kita kena ada yang satu perasaan yang kata kita kena buat. Harus kita kena buat benda tu. Kita tak boleh cuba. So jadi momen saya ialah yang penting setiap kali pertandingan, hampir 15 tahun dalam bidang sukan silat olahraga ni, alhamdulillah semua momen yang saya rasa dalam 15 tahun ni semua dipermudahkan segala urusan saya. Jadi setiap kali perlawanan saya tu saya rasa macam enjoy sangat, dipermudahkan. Itu adalah momen saya yang paling saya rasa sangat-sangat manis. Itulah dia.
Something yang berbeza as compared to others yang pernah share. So it's not really about competition or whatever you experience dalam pertandingan, but it's mostly about how your preparation towards Wewey ada apa-apa nak tambah tak?
Sama je saya sama sama Bang Jufferi, sama yang lainnya sama. Cuma kalau bagi saya yang paling berkesan di dalam hidup saya pertama kali bukan di pertandingan internasional, namun di pertandingan di Indonesia. Pada saat saya masih belum dikenal sama orang-orang, belum tahu siapa Wewey, mainnya seperti apa. Terus banyak orang-orang yang mengatakan berkata Wewey itu tak mampu menjadi juara di pertandingan itu. So pada saat itu saya mampu menjadi yang terbaik, dan itu adalah momen yang paling berharga. Karena kenapa? Karena pada saat itu bagi saya pribadi, tujuan saya adalah ingin membahagiakan keluarga. Selain saya ingin berprestasi, tapi saya ingin membahagiakan keluarga. Saya ingin memberikan
ingin memberikan rumah untuk orang tua, ingin membahagiakan keluarga. Pada saat pertandingan di Indonesia itu PON tahun 2012, saya mendapatkan bonus rumah pada saat itu. So itu paling berharga bagi saya karena perdana, karena this is a first moment saya turun tanding sebagai atlet dewasa, dan saya mampu mengalahkan senior saya pada saat itu. Itu sih.
Okay. I think it's nice to know that. Jem, are you okay to share or? Okay, sorry guys, because Jem is having some technical issues on her side, so the Wi-Fi there is not really good. So as and when she's okay, then we'll add her in. Okay, so I have one question from one of our viewers from USA, from Abdul Malik Ahmad. So his question is, what advice do you have for the youth in USA and Canada who wants to be a silat athlete? So soalannya is, wait, advice in Melayu is apa? Kata-kata perangsa.
Nasihat.
Tahu.
Apa?
Tengok aku orang Australia tahu.
Yang you guys ada untuk teenagers di USA dengan Canada yang mahu jadi silat atlet?
Beratlah soalan dia. sebab kita tak tahu culture dekat negara dia macam mana kan. Kalau belah Afrika saya tahulah. Macam mana Azwan, ada advice tak? Saya macam mungkin sebab yelah Azwan sesuai lah kot, kerana Azwan di tempat orang western kan. Jadi you tahu culture orang tu macam mana. Jadi saya boleh bagi advice, tapi cuma advice saya tu macam dekat Malaysia, jadi dia takut lain sikit. Sebab mungkin cara government dia punya set up atlet lain, kita lain. So Azwan,
like we in West we in western side of it. I think we don't have any support from anyone, like only for ourselves and the coaches. And basically the most important part being a young athlete in the western side of the country is just stay passionate, stay grinding, like they said, keep learning. If you meet new people, especially your coaches will be the most important thing, because they've been experienced there. Your seniors wise, who has compete. I know there's some good guys coming out from US, good fighters coming out from US. Learn from all the seniors. I think those guys experience it up against a world class athlete at world championship wise, because we only compete when there's an event. Like in Southeast Asia, you got competition, like SEA Games, you got the SEA Championship. And then for us, we just compete nationally and then world champ after that. So we don't have that competitive side of it. But like I said, just stay grinding, stay positive, be having that mindset, like no matter who's going to bring you down, like Jufrid said before, just stay focused, just get away from all your fears and you'll be fine.
Right.
Silakan Jufri.
Okay, nanti saya cakap Fiona terangkan kat dia.
Okay.
Alright, thank you Fiona. Okay, baik. Sebenarnya untuk kita mengadakan generasi yang akan datang, yang pertama perlukan pengorbanan. Kita sendiri sebagai coach perlukan pengorbanan. Dan apa yang saya kaji di negara sebelah western ni, dia jenis yang dia bukan macam kita government support untuk sukan. So untuk negara diorang ada juga yang support daripada kerajaan, cuma ada sukan-sukan yang tertentu. Cuma untuk Malik ni mungkin dia punya yelah silat kan mungkin tak terkenal lagi di USA sana. Jadi bagi saya satu pengorbanan untuk dia mencipta nama silat dekat negara dia, dan yang kedua cuba cari sponsor. Sebab kalau kita lihat macam UFC kan Hazwan, UFC dia mana ada support daripada government, semua dia cari sponsor. So mungkin silat di sana boleh buat macam tu. Sebab saya tengok Belanda, negara Belanda, Jerman, apa semua tu dia banyakkan sponsor. So mungkin daripada segi sponsor dia perlu cari. Tapi sebelum nak dapatkan sponsor tu dia perlukan nama. Maksudnya contoh baru-baru ada video dia di YouTube yang dulu dia belajar silat and then dia masuk MMA ke ataupun UFC tak silap saya. Jadi itu salah satu benda yang baik. So dia perlu buat benda tu. Dan yang ketiganya dia perlu sabar banyak sebab apabila ada pengorbanan tu nak mencipta nama mesti dia akan diuji. So negara western ni memang kalau kita tengok sekejap-sekejap silat ni apa, dia akan uji kita. Apakah kehebatan silat. So yang terakhir sekali dia perlu mendalami ataupun menghayati silat tu dengan baik supaya apabila ada cabaran daripada pihak-pihak yang tertentu dekat negara dia perlu sahut cabaran tu dengan baik, insyaAllah. Itu saja Fiana. Tolong terangkan sebiji apa yang saya cakap.
Alright. I cuba. Okay. Okay, so Malik, right? So what Jufferi shared was there's 4 points. So the first one is that the coach needs to make a sacrifice. So because Silat, we believe that Silat is not really well known yet in US. So as a coach, you need to sacrifice your time or make an effort to promote the sport. Yeah. And also like similar to like UFC or other MMA sports or even like for example for Belgium Open, they look for sponsors. So that is how they actually promote the sport and make the sport known to the people within the country. And then the second one is you need to build out a name for Silat. So like for one of your content video where you actually learn Silat and then you try it out in, I think, UFC. So that is a good content that you can share to everybody around US or even Canada. And the third one is patience. So as someone who is just starting to practice or to promote this sport, you will definitely face challenges, especially for individuals who don't understand or do not know the sport. So you need to have patience to actually conquer the challenges that you are facing. And the last one is to understand and appreciate the sport so that when you share about the sport, people will believe you and people will it's easier for you to explain and share about the sport if you understand and appreciate the sport. All right, so talking about sports, let's move to our next segment, which is about the upgraded International Pencak Silat rules and regulations. So I just want to know, do you all know like what are some of the new rules, the newly implemented rules? Can you all like list down some of it?
I think the first one would be grappling, having to use the advantage to use your knees and your elbows, and then take down your opponent by grabbing the vest. You're able to grab the vest and do crocodile, do scissors. You're able to grab the vest and do kickings. New protest system. Yeah, I think that's the feelings I can give from my experience.
That one like almost all had. So yeah. Anybody else want to add on?
I've done the job.
Done the job.
Okay, so out of all the list, right? So which one ataupun rule mana yang baru yang excite you ataupun menyeramkan for you as a competitor or as an athlete when you have to like execute it?
Okay. Wewey, silakan. Nampak macam saya sangat je nak jawab tu.
Ada.
Kamu boleh. Aduh. Silakan Wei.
Inilah yang masih bertanding yang bantu share. Kalau bagi saya sih, kalau saya lihat ya, kalau pertandingan terbaru yang bikin berbahaya itu karena resiko cederanya sangat tinggi, itu aja sih kalau aku pribadi ya. Aku juga belum pernah mencoba pertandingan terbaru karena di Indonesia belum. Jadi mungkin yang pernah bertanding atau yang sedang bertanding atau akan bertanding, bagaimana perasaannya?
Perasaannya, aduh.
I guess Jufferi will have a good experience though from the recent AC champ.
Yeah.
Alright. Baik. Sebenarnya kita ni sebenarnya ada satu tujuan, tak kira mana-mana negara, Singapura ke, Indonesia ke, Brunei ke. Tujuan dia ialah macam kita cakap pada awal tadi, kita nak nampak silat ni pergi ke Olimpik. Okay, baik. Cuba kita fikirkan balik, kalau kita buat rules yang macam ni, macam Wewey kata kan, memang akan ada kecederaan yang sangat teruk. Sangat teruk sebenarnya. Memang kita kena training sampai fit dan sebagainya. Tapi cuba kita fikir, sekarang ni di Malaysia kan, ramai dah orang yang tak berminat untuk menjadi atlet silat. Dia kata baik aku masuk UFC, baik aku masuk MMA. Jadi itu yang pertama yang saya nak cakap, Fiona. Pendirian dia dah lain. Jadi dekat Malaysia sekarang ni kita tengah bagi diorang berfikir balik secara positif, rasional dan positif supaya benda tu diterima seadanya. Sebab kita buat benda ni, bagi saya isu dia, maaf ya Wewey, isu dia pada tahun 2018 di Sukan Asia, yang di mana kebanyakan semua atlet apabila kita buat satu tangkapan, pegang je, wasit juri dah T. So which mean tak boleh tarik. Saya tak tahulah. Tapi kalau untuk kita melaksanakan sesuatu teknik ataupun teknik jatuhan tu, kita memerlukan tarik. Contoh kalau guntingan tu tak boleh lah kan. Tapi kalau kita dah tangkap kaki dan kita pegang body, kalau kita tak tarik orang tu, macam mana kita nak jatuhkan orang tu? Takkan hanya ada satu pergerakan je. Ada satu teknik yang di mana kita tak perlu pegang dia and then kita boleh jatuhkan dia. Tetapi dalam silat ni, Masya Allah, teknik dia banyak sangat luas. Kenapa kita tak pergunakan dengan baik? Okay, itu yang kedua. Panjangnya, baru yang kedua. So, yang ketiganya ialah, bagi saya ada satu teknik yang macam yang tak menyeronokkan saya lah dalam undang-undang baru ni, iaitu yang di mana apabila kita dah berpaut ataupun bertarik-tarik and then kita jatuh, contoh Azwan jatuh, Azwan nak buat jatuh pada jatuhan saya, and then Azwan jatuh, saya tarik body Azwan and then saya stopkan satu kali, and then jatuhan tu dia jadi sah untuk saya. Cuba kita fikir berapa penatnya Azwan nak menjatuhkan saya tu kan, dan saya ambil kesempatan daripada situ je. So bermaksud Fiona, saya bermaksud ke manakah keadilan dia, faham tak? Keadilan si Hazwan tu, macam mana dia nak bela diri dia dah kat bawah and then saya di atas, so senanglah untuk saya. Faham okay.
Yes,
jadi ya, benda tu kita sebenarnya ialah, ini kan undang-undang baru buat. Saya pun tengok Pak Syekh pun sangat struggle sebab dia minat. Pak Syekh dia minat and then dia punya azam tu, cita-cita dia tu bukan hanya untuk habis di sini saja sukan silat. Malah memang kita target untuk ke Sukan Olimpik. Mungkin tahun 2028 kan, waktu tu kita semua dah besar-besar, waktu tu tua-tua dah. Wewey pun dah 5-6 orang anak lah waktu tu kan. Kita tak tahu. Jadi kita ni selaku pesilat yang dah lama, kita kena tunjukkan yang terbaik, teknik yang terbaik kepada generasi yang akan datang. Tapi di dalam Malaysia sekarang ni dia tengah bergelut dengan undang-undang baru yang di mana dia orang hadir terima, tapi bila dia orang terima habis je program, di belakang dia orang tak terima. Sebab dia orang ni dekat dalam Malaysia ni dia jenis sifat menghormati guru di depan. Setelah guru tu habis dia berikan teknik ucapan dan sebagainya, and then kat belakang dia orang akan baru berbincang balik. Jadi kat sini saya takut akan datang silat ni dah tak dipandang oleh orang ramai. Itu sahaja. InsyaAllah harap-harap kita boleh perbaiki dari semasa ke semasa untuk lebih kemaskan lagi kita punya teknik itu. InsyaAllah.
Yeah, I guess because it's something new or it's something that is progressing. So semua orang, even in Singapore, we are still trying to adapt, trying to understand concept of the new rules, kenapa certain things boleh buat, kenapa tak boleh. So I guess it's more about being open to communicate these points so that perkara ataupun point yang kita rasa macam kita confused or tak sure about can always be approached, and we can rectify the cause of it. So yeah, but I guess it's nice to know that Malaysia has started to organize macam program macam ini to ensure that everybody is trying to be on the same page. And
kita memang kena buat macam tu. Tak kira di mana-mana, di Indonesia ke. Saya rasa kalau di Indonesia lagi susah kan, Wewey? Di Indonesia susah. Dia besar dan dia ramai. Rakyat Indonesia terlalu ramai. And then dia ada pelbagai kaum yang perlu kita terima dan kita pandai negotiate dengan dia orang. Jadi saya rasa perlu buat macam tu, program yang macam tu, kita kumpulkan semua cikgu-cikgu ni dan kita terangkan dia secara baik, apa yang boleh, apa yang tak boleh, kan? Jadi susah. So itu saja daripada pendapat saya.
I think for me, with this new ruling that's going on, dia memang tricky very very tricky. You have to be more careful. You have to be very very you need to know what you're going to do, because kadang-kadang kalau kira kan macam Abang Jufferi kata you tarik your opponent, then you end up you yang jatuh, and then your effort for pulling the opponent and then you fell, then your opponent score. So I think for that, you can easily lose points and your opponent can easily gain points. And also I think sekarang ni kan the new ruling, the grappling is one of the easiest takedown. Betul. But the trickiest. And besides all that, I think besides the tricky part and all, it does add some entertainment to the whole fight, macam with the throwings going on here and there. Tapi like I said earlier, dia senang, dia punya teknik tu senang. And then semakin now that it's there, the whole exponents will be using that techniques over and over again. I think from the SEA Championship we can observe that ramai orang pakai ni techniques over and over again in that one round. People been using that techniques over and over and over again, and then it adds stagnancy to that fight where and then from there the protest system comes in, and then that will break the momentum of the fight.
So benda tu dia akan jadi boring lah. So you tahu teknik tu dan dia boleh so dia akan tarik je. So start the game dekat Singapura, minta maaf, start game dekat Singapura tu I tengok mula-mula semua orang tarik. Saya kata boleh macam ni. So saya fikir bila saya tengok, saya akan copy tau. Saya ni jenis tengok, saya akan masukkan dalam otak saya dan saya akan buat benda tu. So jadi saya tukar balik. Saya kata Jufferi, you tak boleh buat macam ni. You kena teknik lama dan synchronizkan dengan teknik yang baru. Mungkin benda tu, saya lawan di Singapura tu, saya nak cuba menunjukkan teknik lama dan teknik baru. Kita combinekan sekali, mungkin dia akan jadi lebih cantik. Tapi malahnya, macam Wewey kata, itu benda bahaya. Dan lutut saya dah tertwist sikit. Nasib baik tak ada injured yang sangat berat seperti ACL, koyak ke apa ke. Alhamdulillah. kan. Jadi itu sangat bahaya. So itulah dia Kak.
But also as a fighter punya point of view, like the one who went inside the ring, I think I do enjoy the fight better now because macam lesser rulings, like in terms you can pull your opponent's vest and kick, you can pull your opponent's vest and do takedowns. So lebih kebenaran, lebih enjoy lah dia punya fight. Yeah, so I think that's from my end lah. And it gives me more opportunity to put up a better, good fight. Yeah. Like Abang Jufferi kata, very similar to MMA. Yeah, but it's just now ada dia punya kesenian silat dalam tandingan silat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like, when I agree when during the SEA Championship, semua orang tried the pulling technique. Maybe pasal it's something new, so semua orang nak cuba.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, well, I want to try this technique, to see whether it works ke tak. So, but I do believe that maybe in like 1 or 2 years time, bila semua orang dah tahu or learn how to defend from being dropped from that technique, I think the game will be so much more interesting because sekarang semua orang masih trying to like, oh, this is new, okay, how can I counter attack dengan this attack, so kita masih like everybody, even for myself when I tried with Team Singaporean athlete, that was my first time, so macam macam mana nak defend dari teknik ni so I still don't know, I'm still trying to learn so that like maybe kalau I do believe that in 1 to 2 years time maybe the game will be so much more interesting when we understand and we know how to defend and counter attack and everything. So yeah. Okay, so moving on. So I think most of you, except for Wewey and Hazwan, have tried the techniques in competition before. So what are other reactions that you have seen? And is there any other advice that you would like to tell others to transition? Ataupun maybe kalau let's say macam Wewey dan Hazwan, you tak pernah try kan, tapi you watch the game. So what is your reaction, and is there any advice that you would like to share with everyone here, the viewers, like how to help them to transition or to actually understand the concept better?
I think for me, right, the new rule, I think is a great idea. Because the reason why is like now is make it more interesting in a way. Like macam tak pernah grapple, now everyone can grapple. And now you can see from a Western side point of view, they're like, okay, now we know how to actually beat the top guys now. How are we going to actually do that and beat the top guys? So I know I got some feedback as well, like people don't like it because of, too much of pulling. But I think the negative side of me is when you protest, it takes too long. Well, it take about 5 minutes to do it. And then all the athletes, they're just sitting there, getting cold, and then they already have that momentum. And then they suddenly have to wait, get the jury, get the wasit, get the result on that. I think that's too long. I think you can actually minimize it in a way that to make it more interesting and people will sit down and watch, Now, because of the match is getting longer because of watching that video wise, getting that result. I think that's too long. I think we can basically put in a way where make it shorter, and then people get more interested. I think that's my point of view. But I think for me, I think the next challenge will be the World Champs that's coming up. I think guys from Uzbek, the UK are coming down. I think a lot of them are MMA fighters. And they will grapple. And for me to gonna be there and take a look at Uzbek, Kazakhstan coming in Silat rule and grappling at the same time, I think that will be more interesting in a way, to see how they implement it and how they're gonna use the new rule. I know some people won't like it, but I think it will be a best vision for us to move to Olympics. It's moving forward in a way. We can't stuck into one transition and then people gonna be, doing the same thing. I think it's gonna create more eyes watching and people watching like, wow, Silat is getting better, with grappling wise. But it's gonna be a lot harder. But and it's going to be interesting, really interesting.
Baik.
Kalau aku sih,
Sorry. Okay.
ya kalau bagi aku sih, memang aku belum pernah mencoba pertandingannya. Cuman kalau aku menonton, aku watching yang orang-orang yang sudah mencoba, mungkin karena peraturannya masih baru kali ya, jadi kayak lebih mungkin karena orang-orang belum tahu nih untuk antisipasinya teknik ini seperti apa, jadi lebih banyak tarik-tarikan. Itu sih yang aku agak kurang ngelihatnya, kayak silatnya tuh kayak nggak, kayak bukan silat, jadi lebih ke kayak judo gulat gitu, kayak karena tarik-tarikan kan, jadi kayak identitas silatnya tuh agak sedikit berkurang. Entah mungkin kalau misalkan sudah lama diberlakukan, aku nggak tahu ya nanti lebih bagus apa enggaknya tekniknya gitu. Cuman kalau sejauh ini karena memang baru, jadi kayak orang-orang karena ngelihat dengan tarik itu lebih mudah menjatuhkan, jadi orang-orang tuh, karena kan kalau bertanding itu kan yang dipikirkan oleh atlet adalah bagaimana mendapatkan poin, bukan bagaimana bermain cantik. Jadi
Benar.
iya, jadi sebisa mungkin orang itu karena peraturannya sudah berubah, yang dulunya tidak boleh tarik-tarikan sekarang boleh narik. Jadi kayak orang tuh ya udahlah, daripada nendang, karena kan kalau nendang orang pun balik lagi ke sudut pandang juri kan. Kalau jatuhan itu kan sifatnya mutlak. So bagaimana kalau aku lihat orang-orang tuh kayak lebih banyak sekarang ini latihan tarik-tarikan, latihan bagaimana untuk menjatuhkan lawan dengan menarik. Itu sih yang aku agak sedikit mungkin sebagian atlet ada yang suka dengan peraturan itu karena lebih mudah untuk mendapatkan poin. Cuman kalau saya sebagai atlet silat yang memang melihat silat itu kan menurut saya tekniknya lain daripada yang lain ya, daripada bela diri yang lain. Jadi agak identitas silatnya tuh agak menurunnya. Jadi kayak orang tuh ngeliat ini ini silat. Jadi kalau orang awam ngelihat tuh kayaknya kan biasanya kalau orang awam lihat pertandingan silat, ini silat gitu. Mainnya seperti ini silat. Tapi kalau sekarang ini kalau orang awam melihat ini MMA kah? Ini apakah? Jadi nggak langsung ini silat gitu. Jadi kayak kurang berkurang aja kayak identitas si silatnya itu sendiri. Tapi sejauh ini aku selalu mendukung apapun yang terbaik untuk memajukan pencak silat. Jadi kayak misalkan yang penting karena kan pasti membuat peraturan terbaru itu pasti sudah ada udah mengumpulkan informasi-informasi atau bagaimana caranya supaya nanti bisa go Olimpiade. Itu kan sudah pasti dipikirkan matang-matang oleh oleh pembuat peraturan itu sendiri. Jadi kalau aku pribadi, aku selalu support apapun itu, asal demi pencak silat bisa lebih luas lagi, lebih mendunia lagi gitu. Cuman itu aja sih yang disayangkan. Mudah-mudahan sih nanti lebih better ya, lebih bagus lagi teknik-tekniknya. Itu sih.
Yeah. What we can do, because now like I said, it's something new. Semua orang masih tengah belajar.
Yeah.
So dorang cuma tahu satu teknik je. So if let's say, all the coaches or the athletes are able to innovate with new types of grappling, new types of pulling techniques, I guess it will, which incorporates silat inside, I guess the sport will be, it is still silat, yeah. So it's just about how we incorporate all these new concepts into silat and, make it like an identity for silat on its own. Like what Jufferi said earlier, silat banyak sangat teknik that we don't really practice because that is only what we do. Yeah, so I guess we have to venture out and learn a lot more skills and techniques that, because now the concept is very open, very free. So, I guess kita just have to go around, travel and study and everything and see how we can incorporate all this into the new competitions. All right, so I would like to know how has these new rules actually affected your training style or strategy wise? And what kind of advantages did you gain through this change? Faham tak?
Silakan. Jufferi pause ke?
Ya. Dia terbayang makan dan minum sekejap.
Tak apa, sini ada lagi 1 jam. Dengan 1 jam.
Sekarang dah masuk suruh ke? Kalau dah boleh berbuka. Macam tu lah. Ya, teruskan. It's okay. Saya tengah okay.
I think for me, we have more to strength training because now, there's a lot of grippings that's going on. So mostly now we train in our vest, to stimulate how you're going to grab your opponents, where you can grab. Because sekarang pun the punya vest is very different. Dulu kan pakai tali, sekarang pakai strap. So nak tarik tu kan, kena cari dia punya lubang, mana nak tarik, kena pandai tarik. And the positioning of how you tarik, how you gonna lock the knee, how you gonna pull her down. So right now training, it's all about that. But leading up to the SEA Games, of course, aside from the fitness and all, I do still train like macam sharpen the technical terms in terms of the new techniques, like take advantage of what you can do, macam tarik, tendang gitu, and also macam mind strategic. Yeah, like we do a lot of like fight stimulation to prepare ourselves to make use of the new rulings and not have, like allow us to get used to the new rulings. Despite having to compete with the new rulings, we still have to, like go on and train and like, sharpen our techniques and of course be better lah. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So, okay, I have a question for Jufferi and Hadijah though. So, because you did try, you all competed in the 8C Champ, right? So,
yep.
What did you think of your performance? Was it up to your expectation with the new rules?
Okay, for me, I think if it wasn't for the COVID I had right before the fight, I would be able to perform better, definitely. But I wouldn't be so much disappointed because I managed to push myself in that last 9 seconds of the fight. Memang itu lawan susah, like it was like very hard because she's a very experienced fighter. She fought hard in Asian Games and I met her in SEA Champ, and that was my first time competing in a very heavyweight class from Class C. So I take it as in preparation for SEA Games, and she's also another brutal fighter, and I'm actually very, very grateful for the opportunity to go up against her. And she yes, I tried to make use of all the new rulings. Tapi itulah, like what actually like lower my points down is the mistakes I made. Macam kirakan tarik dia tapi dia tak jatuh, Had yang jatuh, so Had yang kalah point. Yeah.
Right. Dah kan?
Dah, Abang Jufferi.
Dah okay. Alright, kalau untuk saya pula Fiona, saya share kat sini dan semua orang yang akan boleh tengok, saya mau kepada untuk menunjukkan penguasaan gelanggang. Di mana kalau sebelum rules baru pun, rules lama pun orang masih tak faham lagi penguasaan gelanggang. Sebab tu saya kalau dalam silat, saya akan mencuburi semuanya. Bidang pewasitan. Yang perlu sekali untuk atlet silat olahraga ni, dia akan perlu mendalami wasit, ilmu pewasitan. Jadi apabila kita mendalami, kita akan tahu dari segi macam mana nak dapatkan point. So sebelum tukar rules baru, rules lama pun masih lagi ada yang tak mampu untuk menguasai gelanggang tu. Maksudnya macam mana kita nak bagi juri tu nampak point? Itu yang masalahnya. So bila kita berbalik ke undang-undang baru. Jadi bila pergi undang-undang baru, sebenarnya ianya lagi susah untuk juri nampakkan tenangan oleh pesilat tu. Jadi kat sini kita kena betul-betul adapt dengan juri punya kuasa lah kot. Juri punya kuasa dia untuk menekan point. So sekarang ni lagi susah Wewey, lagi susah untuk kita dapatkan point yang di mana juri ni kena sama-sama tekan. Dia ada satu button and then dia kena sama-sama tekan. Contoh Wewey tendang saya and then dua-dua juri nampak, tekan serentak, baru point Wewey akan naik. Itu contoh dia. Okay. Sekarang ni apa yang saya dah pergi khusus wasit juri dan saya dah pergi, saya mengamati dengan baik and then saya adalah dapat certain tempat yang di mana macam mana kita nak collect point dari segi tenangan. So kalau macam jatuhan yang mutlak tu itu memang yang kita akan dapat lah. So macam mana kita sekarang ni ada siku, ada lutut, tapi siku dan lutut pun bukannya mudah. Nampak macam bahayalah siku dan lutut. Tapi sebenarnya yang membuat rules ni, cuba awak siku orang tanpa memegang badan dia. Awak suruh atlet Muay Thai lah. Saya pergi tempat Muay Thai and then saya suruh dia, cuba awak siku saya tanpa memegang kepala saya. Dia pun tak boleh buat Muay Thai tau. Jadi kat situ macam mana, saya fikir balik kat situ, macam mana kita sebagai atlet and then kita sebagai kita sebagai atlet dan macam mana kita nak dapatkan point tu melalui siku dan lutut tanpa memegang. So kalau kita dah tengah agresif lawan, penipu lah kalau kita tak pegang badan tu, kita lutut. Itu memang susah. Tapi untuk senang kita melaksanakan teknik tu, kita kena bercinta dengan dia. Macam itulah saya boleh bagi. So saya akan tunjukkan yang terbaik untuk yang akan datang ni, supaya semua generasi yang akan datang ni satu dunia. Saya cuba menunjukkan kepada satu dunia supaya dia faham macam mana kita sebagai pengamal silat ni, 4 badan berdiri daripada negara yang terbesar ni, macam mana kita nak tunjukkan pada mereka bahawasanya silat dengan undang-undang yang baru ni relevan. Itu bagi saya. Ada yang beberapa part teknik juga yang saya tak berapa setuju, tapi dalam masa yang sama macam Wewey jugalah, demi untuk menaikkan silat apa saja kita akan cuba bantu. Tapi part yang kita rasa tak boleh, kita cuba perlahan-lahan menerimanya dengan baik. Itu saja, Fiona. Baik.
I guess it's nice to know that you made an effort to be part of the wasit jury. You took up a course. So, I mean, as an athlete, you cannot just only understand from athlete points of view.
Betul.
And it's also very important for you to understand from a wasit jury point of view, so that when you're in the arena, you know what you're thinking, what you need to do, and at the same time, also what the wasit jury is trying to see and look out for. So, I guess that is a plus point for any athlete lah kalau dorang, go through, because wasit jury bukan only setakat like what plus and minus point, like what you said now, kena 2 orang picit and then score masuk, to be more neutral. So
sebenarnya Fiona, kita kena faham juga situasi juri dan wasit. Dia orang memegang satu tanggungjawab dan bebanan yang sangat berat pada dia orang, sebab dia orang ni ibarat macam kena adili pertandingan kita. Tapi bagi saya, kita sebagai atlet, bila kita tak dapat point tu, kita jangan fikir kau ni apalah wasit juri, macam-macam lah mencarut kan, bodoh lah kau ni, tekan lah point tu. Sebenarnya bagi saya, kita atlet buat kerja atlet. So you kerja, you bukan kerja ditanggungjawab, you pergi training, you tendang. So you lawan, you tendang lah banyak kali. So macam tu lah, selagi you tak naik point, you tendang lah sampai naik point. That's why I pergi kursus wasit juri tu supaya kita faham di tempat juri. So bila I duduk kat situ, susah kita nak menilai ni. Susah, cakap mana dia boleh tendang So kita sebagai atlet, bagi saya, kita tak boleh fikirkanlah apa yang wasit dah buat pada kita. But sometimes kita kena tengok kalau benda tu terang dan jelas salah wasit dan juri, kita perlu tegur. Tapi setakat kita tengok angle you memang juri tak nampak, you tendang and then point tak naik, you nak marah juri buat apa? Memang angle tu tak nampak, juri tak nampak. So supposed to be kita kena practice kat mana angle yang sepatutnya dua juri yang akan nampak dan tekan point kita. That's all. Tu saja. Simple, mudah. Kita tak perlu kau kenapa nak inilah wasit ni bodoh lah tak tekan point. Tak boleh. Itu salah lah sebab kita atlet tak boleh ada mental yang rosak macam tu.
Yeah, I guess it's nicely said by you, and I guess it will be a good points for the viewers ataupun silat practitioner yang tengah tengok this YouTube live. Try to expand your knowledge not only as a silat athlete tapi also in other areas. Can be wasit juri, can become also from a coach point of view. So at least when you're there, you're a holistic individual. Yeah. All right. So moving on we're coming towards the end. So it's the hopes and future towards the 31st SEA Games. So with the upcoming 31st SEA Games, what are your overall hopes for the outcome in the 31st SEA Games? It's not your personal goal, tapi keseluruhan, macam the influence that it will bring to the public. Yeah. It can be from Hazwan, from somebody that's not competing for 31st SEA Games. You can also share what is your hopes towards the 31st SEA Games.
For me, I think it will be better than the last SEA Championship lah. The reason why I say that is because the SEA Championship is just a trial and error for the new ruling. But now because of the SEA Game wise, everyone get to see because the athletes probably already know what to expect from the last championship. And then now with the SEA Games coming up, it's more at stakes, with the athletes who's clinching that gold medal. It will be interesting, especially if you're in Vietnam. If you're competing in Vietnam and it's their home ground, so it will be interesting how it's going to turn out in a way. But hopefully that will be a learning curve for all of us from Western side who's competing in World Championship coming up soon. Is what we learn while we're watching all these fighters coming up and see what to expect at the World Championship in Malacca nanti. So yeah, I think that's probably it for me.
Some wise words from Wewey.
Yeah.
Kamu faham soalan dia tak? Okay. Apa kamu punya what is hopes harapan untuk SEA Games ini?
Harapan saya sih yang jelas semoga pertandingan SEA Games sukses semuanya, bisa memberikan yang terbaik untuk negara masing-masing, terus tetap jaga supaya tetap jaga kondisi, supaya tetap sehat, bugar, dan semoga pertandingan SEA Games nanti bisa berjalan lancar sehingga di kejuaraan dunia nanti juga mengikuti.
Okay, cool. Nah, maybe Had ke Jufferi ke?
Kalah bagi Had lah.
Kalau Had, harapan Had untuk ni SEA Games is hopefully that it will be better, like macam kirakan it will go through smoothly, not unlike the SEA Championship, where there's hiccups, especially like during the match fight when the fighters are dah panas, badan dah panas, lepas tu nanti protest lama-lama, lepas tu you tend to cool down, so the momentum break there. I think for me, I just hope that with this new ruling, we will get more viewers, we will get more supporters, and that we are able to bring up the Silat name in a whole by using this new ruling as an advantage and the SEA Games platform to bring us up. And inshallah, again, like the main objective is towards Olympics. So this is like, although ada salah sikap, tapi it's a step that we are moving ahead. Macam even if it's a small step, as long as there's progression that I'm looking forward to, and with this whole new experience, I think I'm actually very grateful because I've given the advantage to compete in SEA Games with this new ruling. So yep, hopefully I am able to give out my best shot, make a good performance for everyone to watch, and bring up the Silat name in a whole. Yep.
Okay, we have another question from one of our viewers, from Umaira. So, as an athlete traveling around the world, how do you adapt atau cope with training and competition to weather changes over at overseas countries? So, for example, macam kita Southeast Asia, so definitely kita macam panas lah, So when we travel to Europe countries, how do you adapt to like the change in weather and humidity?
Just adapt je lah. Macam biasa. Tarik nafas, hembus nafas, macam biasa. Itu je yang saya selalu buat.
Usually how long do you all take to adapt?
Setiap manusia kalau kita kaji ada antibody yang lain-lain. Contoh saya antibody, contoh katakan lemah, Azwan kuat. Mungkin saya memerlukan dalam masa 3 ataupun 4 hari baru serasi dengan cuaca di sana. So untuk Azwan mungkin dalam masa sehari je. Ada orang macam tu. So apa-apa pun kita tengok dari segi kita punya antibody. Walaupun kita duduk di negara kita sendiri, kita tahu antibody kita tahap mana. So kalau kita duduk dalam rumah kita ada aircon, macam mana? Kita sesama ke, demam ke, kalau kena panas macam mana ke. Tapi kalau saya dua-dua okey, sejuk pun okey, panas pun okey. Sebab dia darah pahlawan kan. Yang kena serius je Fiona, saya tak boleh serius, saya kena macam ni bos.
Kalau sejuk macam mana tu? Kalau kena sejuk macam mana? Kalau kena sejuk ada isteri okey lah, tak ada isteri tak. Dia macam tu. Masya-Allah subhanallah. So kalau sejuk kita macam, saya macam suka menerima benda tu seadanya. Kalau macam kita mental, kita akan jadi macam benda tu akan datang lagi. Dia macam tu lah. Maksudnya kalau kita sejuk, yang kalau asyik otak tu cakap sejuk lah. So kalau kita tak apalah, memang ni cuaca dia, terima je lah. Saya selalu macam tu. So santai, terima je. And then dalam masa yang sama kita buatlah benda yang patut supaya badan kita sentiasa panas. Macam tu je lah. So siapa tanya tadi, Umaira? So sorry lah Umaira, ada macam gurau-gurau sikit tadi, biasa lah tu. Sebab saya tak boleh serius sangat.
So at the end of the day, what Jufferi is saying, if rumah tak ada aircon, you have to buy an aircon so that you can adapt to both cold and hot weather. No lah, just joking.
Alright.
Alright, okay. So I have this question. Okay, you all don't have to answer, but the viewers, I think if you want to put in your points into the chat, you can just do so. It's something for you guys to ponder. So the question is, do you have other changes you would like to see in Pencak Silat sports industry soon? So if you do have, you can just leave it in the comment section. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. All right, so to end this session off, do you have anything to say to everyone competing in this upcoming 31st SEA Games? So let's start with Hazwan.
Aku lagi. Anyway. Best of luck to everyone that's competing. You guys will be the face of the Silat world now because you guys competing with the new ruling wise. everyone's going to be watching from the western side of the hemisphere, and we will see what we're up against in the world champ. I think you guys will do good. Best of luck. Bring back more medals. It's not about basically winning the medal. It's basically doing your best, and then and then that you gave 100%. So yeah, best of luck.
Wewey? Ada kata-kata perangsang untuk
yang akan datang pergi ke dan benda-benda semua lah. Wewey bagi semua supaya saya dah tak boleh cakap. Senang.
Bingung Wewey mau cakap apa ya. Intinya Abang Jufferi dulu aja lah. Gue bingung nak cakap apa.
Okay, baik. Okay. Boleh. So untuk saya, harapan saya agar yang tengah menonton kami sekarang ni secara live, saya mohon untuk doa daripada kalian supaya kami semua, tak kira daripada mana negara, kami semua minta kalian untuk doakan supaya kami ni dapat melaksanakan atau menyempurnakan pertandingan Sukan C nanti di Vietnam, Hanoi. Dan serta kepada generasi yang akan datang, tolonglah jangan untuk kalian rasa tiba-tiba melihat undang baru ni kalian terus rasa nak macam aku tak nak main silat, baik aku main UFC dan MMA. Cuba kalian dulu tengok dan belajar pelan-pelan teknik dan taktikal tentang silat ni, and then teruskan usaha supaya dapat memegang satu ataupun dua teknik. Mungkin waktu tu kalian akan rasa macam berpuas hati lah. Dan doakan kami supaya dapat berikan yang terbaik di Sukan C dan World Championship di Melaka nanti in Malaysia. So untuk Sukan C ni nanti saya datang untuk memberikan yang terbaik dan pertunjukan yang orang kata semangat kesukanan lah, bukan kepada apa tidak puas hati ke dan sebagainya. So mungkin ini kali terakhir saya menjadi atlet silat negara, dan juga ini mungkin last ataupun yang terakhir saya punya pertandingan di Sukan C dan World Championship, kerana kita dah sangat tua rasa.
You still have until 45 years old.
Tapi lain 40, tapi bila dah jadi atlet dah lama kan, badan kita akan rasa macam the recovery time take longer, dan
mungkin
apa tu mentally kita nak ingat anak bini lagi, banyak anak lagi kan?
Dia kerja dia anak itu je. So macam Wewey, Wewey pun dah ada anak. So dia sekarang mungkin memang. Kalau dulu Fiona, kita dalam seminggu kita berlatih 3 hari 4 hari baru kita rasa sakit badan kan. Sekarang 2 hari, bukan 2 hari lah, katakan 3 sesi 4 sesi pun kita dah rasa macam sakitnya badannya. Dah bermacam-macam suplemen. So I come to Vietnam to make history. So InsyaAllah dengan izin Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, semoga Allah memberkati perjuangan kita semuanya untuk menaikkan nama silat. Tidak ada bermusuhan di antara aku silat ni, kau silat ni. Kita sebenarnya sama, satu tujuan kerana Allah Ta'ala. Kita bersilat ni kerana Allah Ta'ala. Dan kita, saya dapat nak nangis pula lah. Sebab saya minat, sorry. Saya minat dengan silat ni, sangat minat. Dan ini memang cinta pertama dan cinta terakhir saya ialah silat, kerana saya dibesarkan pun melalui silat. Saya dapat kerja pun, saya dapat berkahwin dan dapat menggunakan kereta, semua rezeki daripada silat, berkat daripada silat. Tapi mungkin ni kali terakhir. Jadi doakan supaya kita semua berjaya di Sukan C nanti, insyaAllah. Amin.
It's okay, Jufferi, if let's say you retire this year, you still can come back as wasit juri because you really took the course.
Masya Allah.
So you're still in Silat. You can make a career out of it. So jangan bersedih sangat, okay?
No. Dia susah. Wasit juri pun susah. Tanggungjawab saya sangat.
Tak apa.
Lebih baik jadi retire je.
Abang Jufferi nak jadi aktris silat.
Ya.
Actor.
But I hope ini adalah satu cita-cita saya jugalah. Dalam dah 15 tahun saya bersilat ni, kita ni sebenarnya dengan apa, saya harap kita 4 badan berdiri ni, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapura dan Brunei, boleh melaksanakan satu bukan dokumentari, memang satu movie yang di mana kita akan daripada pesilat Malaysia, Singapura, Indonesia dan Brunei, kita satukan buat satu konten ataupun movie untuk menaikkan nama silat di pesada dunia. Itu perlu. Tapi melalui bidang sukan. Itu insyaAllah nanti saya cuba panjangkan kepada Pak Syed dan juga Datuk Megat serta Presiden daripada Indonesia untuk kita dapatkan persetujuan itu insyaAllah. Amin.
Dah jadi aktor pula Al-Jufferi.
Dia jadi aktor.
Nak minta tanda tangan.
Tak, kalau saya aktor, saya kalau aktor, jadi aktor, saya tak minat yang aktor yang suka berlawan. Saya minat aktor yang bercinta punya. Macam tu mau takut. Masya Allah, kena ajar saya. Tadi gurau.
Okay, any last words from Wewey?
Pokoknya bagi yang masih bertanding, sukses di pertandingan SEA Games-nya, semoga bisa memberikan yang terbaik. Juga untuk junior-junior yang baru ingin mengikuti silat, tetap semangat latihannya, tetap timbulkan jiwa petarung. Walaupun pertandingan memang sedikit berubah peraturannya, tapi itu demi kemajuan pencak silat. Jadi yang terpenting kita tetap safety, latihannya tetap bermain aman, dan semoga kedepannya pencak silat bisa seperti yang kita harapkan, bisa go Olimpiade, dan juga pokoknya sukses untuk semuanya. Itu aja sih kalau dari, karena udah banyak diceritain oleh Bang Jufferi, jadi cuma nambahin aja.
Kamu summary je Okay, Had.
Had just berharap yang untuk SEA Games ini kita dapat menaikkan nama pencak silat, but of course Had minta doa kepada semua orang untuk keselamatan kita dan juga kesuksesan kita insyaAllah. Tapi selain daripada itu, kita dapat meraihkan nama silat dan juga berjuangkan selain daripada negeri kita, nama silat juga kita dapat menjuangkan insyaAllah. Dan okay, dah English lah. I ask for prayers, to give us the courage to go through this hardship of us, because this is a lesson that we are taking on, to be a better sport in the future. And I'm just asking everyone's blessings for all of us, for all the competitors from all over countries, to allow blessings to allow us to fight in a safe, to be safe in the ring, and also, to be successful in whatever and whichever category that we are competing in. But of course, pray for Silat that we are able to, reach that goal and able to gain that knowledge, that knowledge and the experience that we need to go towards Olympics, inshallah. Amin.
Dan satu lagi, mau tambahin satu lagi, bagi teman-teman, juara sejati itu bukanlah juara yang selalu juara di setiap eventnya, tapi yang dapat bangkit dari kekalahan dan tetap berlatih dan tetap pokoknya tetap semangat, itulah juara sejati. Jadi intinya ketika kita gagal, kita bangkit lagi, latihan lagi, gagal, bangkit lagi, latihan lagi. Ketika kita juara di suatu event, jangan pernah berpuas diri, tetap bersyukur, namun kita raih lagi prestasi setinggi-tingginya. Gitu.
Masya Allah. Amin, amin ya Rabbal.
Alright, okay. So to end this off, I would like to wish all the SEA Games athlete participating for SEA Games this 10 to 16 May. We're only left with like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So do support all of them, no matter from whichever country they are from, because they have worked hard. They recover from their injury. They are far away from your family, just to prepare for this SEA Games. So give them your loudest cheer, your all positive, nothing negative, and do watch. I'm not sure whether there's live streaming in Vietnam for Silat, but if there is, why not just watch the whole match and support every athlete that is competing. So hopefully you had some good laughs with us and got to learn something new. So we will see you all next time. Keep up with our social medias, and we'll be live again tomorrow with more new guests, so don't miss out on that. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye!
Bye.
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 Ini gimana kabar Jenny?
Alhamdulillah baik.
Anaknya okey, sehat?
Sehat bang, abang sehat keluarga.
Alhamdulillah.
Sini semua dah ada anak.